Unresolved conflict. When faced with unresolvable disputes, Stoicism views them as opportunities to exercise self-control and the virtue of wisdom. Stoics are aware that having protracted or pointless arguments usually causes mental discomfort and accomplishes nothing. Rather, they support evaluating the circumstances impartially and deciding whether more interaction is beneficial or just feeds conflict. Stoicism advises the wisdom of walking away from conflict when a resolution seems unachievable or when it affects one's inner calm and well-being. Making this choice is an act of self-preservation and reason rather than weakness. People can save their emotional energy and concentrate on areas of life that are within their control by stepping back from disputes that they are unable to resolve. Resolving problems amicably is consistent with the Stoic philosophy of accepting the unchangeable and focusing one's energies on the noble and meaningful. In the face of hardship, it enables people to uphold their moral character and inner peace as opposed to getting sucked into pointless arguments that are detrimental to their general well-being. In the end, Stoicism teaches that stepping away from unresolved problems is not a sign of failure, but rather a calculated choice that helps people put their mental and emotional well-being first, keep their cool, and concentrate on leading moral lives filled with inner peace. Toxic connections. Stoicism emphasizes the value of surrounding oneself with people who favorably impact one's well-being and provides insightful advice on negotiating relationships. Relationships should be built on virtue, kindness, and respect for one another, according to Stoic philosophy. But Stoicism argues it could be wise to end a relationship when it becomes toxic and harmful to one's emotional and mental well-being. Toxic relationships frequently prevent people from growing and thriving because they are typified by persistent negativity, manipulation, or emotional abuse. Stoics understand that having these kinds of relationships can be detrimental to one's integrity and inner serenity. Choosing to leave unhealthy relationships is therefore consistent with the Stoic ideals of virtue, self-care, and self-respect. Walking away from toxic relationships doesn't always indicate a lack of empathy or forgiveness. Rather, it shows that one values their worth and understands how important it is to put their health first. Others who practice Stoicism are encouraged to build connections based on kindness, respect, and reciprocity, and to keep their distance from others who bring them less inner peace and satisfaction. Those who choose to leave unhealthy relationships uphold their moral principles and keep their mental and emotional well-being. By reflecting the tenets of Stoicism, self-awareness, reason, and resilience, this choice frees people up to concentrate their energies on fostering wholesome relationships and leading moral lives filled with inner peace. Extraneous contentions. Stoicism emphasizes the benefits of reasoned communication and reasonable speech, favoring productive discussion over pointless confrontation. According to Stoic ideals, it could be wise to leave a quarrel that isn't serving a purpose or that turns hostile when it starts. Ego, arrogance, or the need to establish one's superiority over others are frequently the causes of needless arguments. Stoics understand that having arguments like these can cause emotional upheaval, strain relationships, and be a waste of time and energy. As a result, choosing to leave pointless disputes shows a dedication to reason and inner serenity. Walking away from pointless arguments is a conscious decision to put harmony and understanding between parties above avoidance or weakness. Stoicism teaches people to weigh the value of debating a topic and to discern when more conversation is not likely to result in a solution or illumination. Refusing to participate in pointless fights demonstrates self-control, humility, and respect for other people. This choice is in line with the wisdom, moderation, and virtue of the Stoics, enabling people to maintain their mental and emotional health while fostering harmony and benevolence in their relationships with others. Adverse surroundings. People who practice Stoicism are encouraged to create surroundings that support virtue, well-being, and personal development. Negative settings can be harmful to a person's mental and emotional well-being since they are typified by pervasive pessimism, toxicity, or hostility. According to Stoic ideas, it can be wise to leave such circumstances. Workplaces that are poisonous, dysfunctional social networks, or settings that encourage pessimism and hopelessness are examples of negative surroundings. Long-term exposure to such negativity can compromise one's integrity, inner serenity, and sense of purpose, as Stoics are aware. Walking away from unhealthy surroundings, then, is a sign of dedication to virtue and self-care. Adopting a resilient and detached mindset is more important than physically distancing oneself from a situation to walk away from bad circumstances. Stoicism instructs people to recognize that they have no control over outside events and to concentrate on what they can control. People who decide to remove themselves, either mentally or emotionally, from stressful situations manage to keep their inner peace and their will to lead moral lives intact. Moreover, Stoicism pushes people to look for surroundings that foster growth, happiness, and camaraderie. Creating such conditions promotes personal growth and enhances the well-being of others as well as oneself. Thus, leaving unfavorable situations in line with the Stoic values of self-awareness, reason, and resilience enables people to put their mental and emotional well-being first while pursuing a life of virtue and inner peace. Unjust treatment. According to Stoic philosophy, people should treat others with justice, fairness, and moral integrity in both their deeds and in how they want to be treated. Stoicism advises people to evaluate unjust treatment situations objectively and decide if continuing to engage in the scenario would benefit them or hurt them in the long run. Different forms of unfair treatment include discrimination, exploitation, and manipulation. Stoics understand that enduring such behavior can undermine one's feeling of value, dignity, and inner tranquility. Thus, deciding to leave unjust situations can be a sign of moral integrity and self-respect. Walking away from unfair treatment is a reluctance to put up with acts or behaviors that go against one's morals and beliefs, not a sign of apathy or submission. Advocating for justice and fairness while acknowledging that there are conditions they might not be able to change is a lesson learned from Stoicism. Individuals who choose to distance themselves from situations when they are subjected to unfair treatment do so out of self-respect and a desire to uphold their moral principles. Moreover, Stoicism exhorts people to look for settings and connections that support the values of justice, kindness, and respect for one another. Creating such conditions encourages individual development, flourishing, and the advancement of morality and justice. Walking away from unfair treatment is therefore consistent with the Stoic concepts of self-awareness, reason, and fortitude, enabling people to pursue virtuous and exceptional lives without compromising their integrity or inner calm. Addictions or bad habits. Self-control, temperance, and the pursuit of virtue in all facets of life, including routines and behaviors, are encouraged by Stoicism. Based on Stoic principles, people may need to break away from bad behaviors or addictions that are compromising their well-being and preventing them from leading fulfilling lives. Addictions and unhealthy habits can include things like binge drinking, abusing drugs, obsessive gambling, or overeating. Stoics are aware that engaging in such behaviors can have negative effects on one's bodily, mental, and spiritual well-being as well as make it more difficult to live a morally and rationally upright life. As a result, deciding to give up bad habits or addictions shows a dedication to moral integrity and self-care. It takes strength, commitment, and self-awareness to give up bad behaviors or addictions. Stoicism teaches people to see how their activities affect their well-being and to take proactive measures to remedy those impacts. People who decide to give up harmful habits show perseverance, self-control, and a readiness to put their long-term well-being ahead of their immediate enjoyment. Moreover, Stoicism promotes the development of routines and actions that advance one's mental, emotional, and spiritual health. This includes routines like mindfulness, physical activity, eating a balanced diet, and participating in pursuits that lead to personal development and fulfillment. Individuals can pursue a life of thriving and greatness by eschewing unhealthy behaviors or addictions and embracing healthier options that correspond with the Stoic values of self-discipline, moderation, and virtue. Ineffective attempts. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on making good use of one's time and energy by directing it toward activities that promote virtue, well-being, and personal development. Stoic ideas suggest that it may be wise to walk away from undertakings that are unlikely to bring positive consequences or that divert attention from more worthwhile pursuits. Investing time and money in ventures that have little prospect of success, chasing impossible ambitions, or partaking in pursuits devoid of intrinsic joy are just a few examples of futile attempts. Stoics are aware that continuing with such activities might result in frustration, wasted effort, and a feeling of futility. Thus, the decision to give up on fruitless attempts is indicative of a dedication to reason, practicality, and the search for virtue. It takes discernment, self-awareness, and a readiness to let go of attachments to results to walk away from pointless pursuits. Stoicism encourages people to evaluate the value of their endeavors and to discern when further time and effort are unlikely to yield significant outcomes. People who choose to give up on pointless projects liberate themselves from the weight of pointless effort and make room for more meaningful and purposeful endeavors. Furthermore, Stoicism promotes concentrating on pursuits that enhance one's well-being as well as the well-being of others and are consistent with one's values, abilities, and goals. This entails developing virtues like discernment, bravery, justice, and temperance, as well as engaging in pursuits that further one's development, flourishing in quest of eudaimonia, or leading a fulfilled life. People can pursue lives of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment by abandoning pointless activities and focusing their energies on more fulfilling enterprises. This aligns their lives with the Stoic values of reason, virtue, and inner serenity. Toxic relationships at work. Stoicism provides insightful advice for handling difficult circumstances at work, such as poisonous relationships that can impair output, morale, and general well-being. According to Stoic beliefs, people may need to leave a workplace where there is a lot of negativity, conflict, or disorder. Workplaces with toxic dynamics can take many different forms. Some examples include hostile conduct from managers or coworkers, a backstabbing and gossip culture, or a culture that values competition over cooperation. A person's sense of dignity, purpose, and inner calm can be undermined by extended exposure to such dynamics, as Stoics acknowledge. As a result, deciding to leave toxic work environments signifies a dedication to virtue, self-care, and self-respect. Shifting away from toxic work environments doesn't always entail leaving one's position right away. Instead, it involves developing a resilient, detached, and proactive problem-solving approach. Stoicism instructs people to recognize that they have no control over outside events and to concentrate on what they can control. People who decide to emotionally or mentally distance themselves from hazardous work environments protect their inner peace and their will to lead morally upright lives. Furthermore, Stoicism exhorts people to look for jobs that support the values of justice, kindness, and respect for one another, as well as those that create an atmosphere that is favorable to fulfillment, cooperation, and personal development. These kinds of workplaces are beneficial to businesses and individuals alike since they foster creativity, productivity, and employee well-being. This makes leaving harmful work environments consistent with the Stoic values of reason, fortitude, and the quest of eudaimonia. It also enables people to prioritize their mental and emotional well-being in the course of pursuing important and satisfying professions. Over-anxiety or ruminating. One's capacity to lead a peaceful and moral life can be undermined by excessive worry or rumination, which can be mentally and emotionally taxing. Stoicism offers helpful advice for coping with these difficulties. According to Stoic ideas, those who are overcome with worry or who obsessively think about the past or the future may find it helpful to simply move on from these thoughts. Over-anxiety and rumination can be detrimental to one's mental and emotional health, increasing stress, making it difficult to sleep at night, and impairing judgment. Stoics recognize that concentrating on uncontrollably occurring events or circumstances is pointless and will only make misery worse. As a result, deciding to put an end to excessive concern or ruminating shows a dedication to acceptance, reason, and emotional fortitude. Leaving behind excessive concern or rumination necessitates self-awareness, attention, and a readiness to let go of outcome attachments. Stoicism instructs people to accept that certain things are beyond their control and to concentrate on what they can manage. People can liberate themselves from the clutches of bad emotions and make room for inner peace, clarity, and tranquility by deciding to step back from worrying thoughts or dwelling. Additionally, Stoicism encourages people to develop techniques like gratitude, mindfulness, and positive imagery, which can help reduce excessive worry and enhance mental health. People can discover more happiness and fulfillment in life and less anxiety by practicing acceptance and thankfulness in their daily lives and by keeping their attention in the here and now. By letting go of excessive anxiety or rumination, people can prioritize their mental and emotional well-being while seeking a life of virtue and inner peace. This is in line with the Stoic ideals of logic, resilience, and the pursuit of eudaimonia.